All right.
What's she say? No, this one. This is Ay, ¿quién me? For the failure, we can if you want.
Right. Please, we don't want to throw you over either. Okay. Wow. All right. So this whole thing could fall away.
Yes. So as you can see, we had already started and actually finished with the pavement and even the road marking.
Yeah, and then?
But then you will see the full.
But now how are you going to answer the question that you got a shoddy contractor?
Well, so as you can see, then there is a washaway because the slope itself has not been supported
Yes.
at the toe. So with this loose material, when the rain comes, it just washes it away because the work had not yet been completed.
So what are we doing now? We're starting at the bottom.
We basically have to start afresh. So we need to demolish all of this.
Yes.
Yes. First and foremost, supports at the bottom, the toe. We're going to do concrete because it was unsupported.
Yeah, so we're gonna stabilize the
With
material because the
now.
material is also
Yeah.
very loose.
Mm.
So and also with the floods that recently happened, it made it very worse. So
Yeah.
we're gonna stabilize the material and work all the way up until we get to the top.
Previously, we were just going to put vegetation, but now with the excessive rain, loose material, we know now that that's not going to work. We need to stabilize it and make sure that it's secure enough. But also, as I said, support the embankment from the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Gabins are those
Yes, but the
stones
Yes, but the ones that build up.
built,
Yes.
yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
retaining wall type.
And that's the drain.
That is it.
So that culvert is taking the water off the road. Okay. And that blue pipe there,
It's the temporary pipe.
That-
Temporary pipe to take the water out away from the flow, from the slope.
oh, okay. Okay.
It's open.
All right.
And those are the service leaves, right?
So what we've done in essence now is when we started working, there was still a lot of water in the fill itself. So we did a rockfall layer underneath, a drainage layer. So those pipes are taking any water that's in the fill and just letting
That's
it down.
underneath.
So you can
Okay.
see the water running through, like the water currently running there. So try and get the water out of the fill, so it just stabilizes the fill a bit better.
I see. I see. All right. Okay. Well,
Also, Clovis, you must just take into how we're going to prevent a wash away of the snow.
So the idea was, in essence, originally it's just planting, hydro-seeding the whole area. But with the type of soil we have now, so we're going to try and get those erosion control nets, so we can get our vegetation to take very fast. Because if you can see around, our vegetation is quite strong here to take with the environment we're in. But also one of the things is to make sure the slope is very flat, not a steep slope, so it doesn't have the tendency to fail like
step down if there's heavy rains.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But unfortunately, there's going to be a rework. Yeah.
Yes. All the way along there. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they've already started with the rework. It's just that every 2 days it starts to rain again.
Like
Then the material becomes wet again. Then you have to go back to the drawing board again. Come back, it rains again. So that's the challenge that we've been experiencing
yeah.
since the beginning of the year.
Sure.
You can in essence see this flat area here.
Yes.
This is where we are currently to. So you'll see where it's that steep face.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we stabilize. That's why it's not falling in, because that's cementing. So we built everything up till that to today from the rains.
Oh, I see. So you're working backwards,
Yeah.
like upwards, like this.
Benching.
Yeah. They're going to bench into the slope. So we're going to go probably to halfway up this road. We're going to bring it back and make sure that we're stable. Because also the pipe coming out, we have to realign that pipe because it also set it a little bit.
Right.
So this has set us back by an additional 6 months. We were supposed to complete it around June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah. So it has set us back. But with the rains as well, there's still going to be additional time. But as you can see, the temporary bypass to make sure that traffic does not interfere. The road is cracked, so it's not safe.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's fine. Right. So I think with our media person, we're there.
All right.
Okay. Okay. I'll stay in my black. I'll stay in my black. Oh, you want me? Oh, all right. All right. Okay. Okay. Coming there. Where's the MST? MST is here. Do you want me here? Thank you.
Good day, Minister.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for coming
Thank you.
out here. Thanks for coming to get wet. Colleagues, good morning to everybody, and thank you very much for joining us. And let me acknowledge MEC Tomo, MEC for Roads and Public Works in Mpumalanga. Today, what we are doing is that we are visiting all of the 5 sites on the R40 where there has been significant flood damage over the past year. As you know, there were very severe rains that began here in December. But in fact, there was existing flood damage even from the previous year. And I suppose this is part of the challenge that we're dealing with in the face of climate change. Altogether, on all of the SANRAL owned roads in Mpumalanga that have been damaged by flooding, we are spending 265 million rand on works. Here on the R40, we've got 5 sites where there has been slippage. It doesn't all look the same, but it's essentially the same problem. And of those 5 sites, 3 are currently active, meaning we are busy working on repairing them. 2 are in the procurement stage. Altogether on the R40, we're spending 120 million. We have had 11 sites that we've already fixed on the R37. And in addition to that, we now have an additional 5 sites on the R37. Altogether on the R37, we'll spend 37 million. The damage on the R37 is not as extreme as what you can see on the R40. And we are also busy on the D518 and the D526. And these are district roads in Mkondo that lead to the Eswatini border. They've been severely affected by flooding. Altogether, we'll be spending 105 million on fixing those particular roads. And we're busy with minor works on the R36. For those who are extremely frustrated by the 8 kilometers between Lydenburg and Bambi, what we can report to you is that we have managed to get a partnership with the mining companies in the area. They have indicated to us that they are prepared to spend between 60 and 100 million, making sure that we resuscitate that road that is currently, I think we can call it a mud path. It's not even a road. And of course, that road carries a lot of trucks coming from Steelport. Now, while we are here in the province of Mpumalanga, we would also like to talk about the substantial investment that SANRAL is making into the major national roads in this province. All in all, we will spend about 22.5 billion. The first major road that we are upgrading is the N2 that is running from the KZN boundary towards Ermelo. And that will become a dual carriageway. It will have between 2 and 3 lanes. That's a very important project where we currently have the first 4 work packages that are operating. And it's obviously a very important project from a road safety point of view, because you would be aware that this is one of the roads that carries heavy traffic and unfortunately has claimed many, many lives in the past. There's also major works that we're doing on the N11 and of course on the Malota Road. We also have 5 work packages that we are concluding on that road. That is part of the ongoing work that we've been doing for many, many years to upgrade the Malota Road to be a dual carriageway. And as you know, this is also an area that historically has had a lot of bus accidents between KwaMashlanga and Delmas, and has also claimed many lives. So those are the major roadworks that we're doing in the province. In addition to that, we are doing what we call routine maintenance on the 900 kilometers which the provincial government handed over to SANRAL in December 2024. Altogether, we have taken over now 4,700 kilometers of roads here in Mpumalanga. And those roads are now part of the SANRAL routine maintenance process. All of our major construction works involve significant job creation. The N2, the N11 and Moloto will create 3,000 full-time job equivalents. And of course, on this 22 billion, 30% goes to local and small contractors. That's a very significant sum of about 7.5 billion that will be spent on employing subcontracting services from local businesses here in the province of Mpumalanga.
Question? Yes. Thank you very much for the time, Minister. I think most of our questions are based on this specific road. I mean, this is a road, there's a very big road stretching from Palabora down to Barberton. My first question to you is, this is a road that carries a lot of cargo from the mines in Mozambique, in Palabora to Mozambique and other areas in the province and outside of the province. Are there any plans underway to move cargo? Because R40, it's not really a big road. There's a lot of traffic as well. Are there any plans from removing this cargo maybe back to the rail?
Well, one of the good pieces of news I can give you is that Minister Godongwana announced that the budget facility for infrastructure has allocated, I think it's 3.7 billion for the coal line. And that obviously most of the movement on these roads is coal. And that is major rehabilitation of that line so that we can increase the number of trains that we are running and we can increase the numbers of million tons of cargo that we are carrying. Yesterday, I had a meeting with my counterpart from Mozambique, and what we've agreed with him is that during May, he will come to South Africa and he will bring his rail company and we will facilitate a meeting between his rail entity and Transnet. And the purpose of that meeting is to discuss whether we can do a joint rehabilitation of the railway line that goes to Maputo. Because what you would understand is most of the trucks that are traveling on these roads are actually going through the Lubomba border post bound for Maputo. So we're going to be having that discussion. We have similar discussions going on with my counterpart from Botswana, where we would have a joint rail line that we would want to jointly support. So I think that both in the short term, we're trying to get the tons up on the current Transnet line. Obviously, that commodity would be moving to the port of Richards Bay. And as you know, it is our intention to upgrade the dry bulk terminal at Richards Bay. It currently is moving about 12 million tons. We want to increase that to 27 million tons. And that obviously also ultimately will assist us in making sure that we get some of this cargo back from road onto rail.
And, you know, with where we are right now, this project, this specific road, the damage that you see, it was a road, this happened, I think, less than 2 months, not less than a month after it was, yes. What do you say about such projects, especially those projects that they are contractors that when you look at it, you look at it as a shady job? What are the repercussions for such people?
Well, I think on this particular, I did ask that question from the engineers, and what they said to me was that they had thought that they could just stabilize this embankment with vegetation. and there wasn't an intention to build it up with stones and concrete. But I think that what we are all having to confront is that with climate change, our infrastructure is taking a serious beating. And extreme weather events that we would have expected maybe once in 20 years or once in 30 years, we were actually saying we're almost getting them every 3 months at the moment. So the engineers are advising me that we have to change the design.